I walk through an ashen wood, alone. Frozen earth crunches, crick, crack, beneath my feet. Fat, blurry snowflakes fly by, aglow with the moon's bright light. I could never truly be lost, not on a night like this, when she shines so round and full, gazing down from the winter sky above. Still, I'd best look like I am. I meander through ashen trails, between the birches, silver girths, stripped with dark, around the trunks of pines that reach the sky, boughs buried with snow. I walk between the shadows, slip through pools of light and dark, as if I have somewhere to be, but no knowledge of what path might take me to it. All the while I wrap myself in a cape of red wool, pulling its rough spun fabric and fine needlework tight about my shoulders. My hands, I rest inside thick sheepskin gloves. Even with the snow and the mountain air in my face, the thrill of the hunt keeps the bite of cold at bay. My heart beats with an unfamiliar feeling, a pounding, jittering rhythm. I shiver with excitement. I hope whatever's out there mistakes it for fear. I sink my hands deep into the pockets of my skirts, running my gloved fingers along the edge of the deadly, sharpened point I carry. In a strange way, it feels more totem than weapon. I suppose I seek no ordinary prey. I almost smile, like my quarry. How strange to think that I too might hide my fangs. And so I wander on, trembling like a newborn lamb. I wonder how the beast might appear. Would it call out to me in a voice nectar sweet, promising shelter? Would it lure me to its mountain lair, whispering honeyed words as it led me to a place where no screams can echo? Would it stalk me patiently, waiting for the moment I collapse, cold, exhausted, in the snow? As I wander and wander, I find myself growing impatient, the cause of my shaking turning from thrill to frost. When would it appear? Would it appear? Am I not the image of the perfect prey? I'm running out of time. No such vexations are a luxury I can't indulge in. I cannot rush this. I need my mind clear. Surely there is some way of drawing its attention to me, until it can no longer look away. I feel in my pockets for the small, sharp knife I'd use to whittle my weapon to its deadly point. What simpler way to entice a beast than with iron freshly drawn? But did I need to go so far? Perhaps it was not flesh it was hungry for. Perhaps I simply needed to call out to it. Draw your blood or sing. I feel like singing might be the better choice here. I'm gonna make a save, cause why not? I sing! So call to it I do. I close my eyes and take a deep breath, and then I raise my voice to sing. An unfamiliar tongue savors each word of the well-worn tune. We love the company. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh, there's actual singing. Jesus. The Miss Queen, wrapped in fog. How softly does she go? With a silver veil round her head that shines like fallen snow. I shiver now to look at her in moonshine lit to glow. Before I can continue to the second verse, a sudden sound echoes in the distance. I turn. No longer do I hear the wind through the trees, the hooting of an owl, or the scurrying of a squirrel. It is as if the world has gone completely silent and still, save for a pair of carefully approaching footsteps. It is seconds longer before I see it, a pinprick of light in the distance, a blur of white, like the snow swirling around me. Gradually, it comes closer, blinking, flickering, bright. All the while, I stay still, so still, like my heart has forgotten its beat. Closer it draws, closer still, until finally I make out its face, framed in white, lock eyes with it. With him. Man, he a real bad wolf! I can't move or turn away. I can't even breathe. That eye stares back at me with so deep a green. Are you lost? He says, and like a spell broken, I shake out of my daze, the wind and the sound of the night roaring in my ears. His voice cuts through it all, clear as a bell. Are you cold? The figure wears the skin of a man. A skin so impossibly fair, it reminds me of the broken statue of an angel I once saw in a ruined castle, the surface of its marble pallor cold as ice when I brushed it with my fingertips. How flawlessly smooth, how otherworldly, that lonely thing left behind in a place of broken granite and brittle stone. I wonder if the being before me is as cold to the touch. He dresses from head to toe in white, shrouded in white, from his fine wool coat to his fur-trimmed cape and soft leather gloves. Even his hair, cascades of gentle curls that frame his face, shines silver, a radiant halo lit from the glow of the lantern he carries in his hand. The other he extends to me. Are you lost? He asks again. I won't hurt you. I'll see you to safety. I promise. The sound of his voice makes all the worry in the world melt away. It is so musical, so warm and calming, like liquid honey. It takes all my will not to take his hand and offer all at once. Who are you? Who are you? I ask. Simply a traveler, passing through, he says, with the faintest hint of a smile, soft, gentle, unthreatening. If I were naive, I would take his answer without question at all. But I am not. Here, alone in the woods, at night. I could ask the same of you, demoiselle. Why ever did you wander here? I was searching for something. Whatever it may be, you've come far. The nearest village is hours away. Have you a place to shelter for the night? No, I say, as I quiver, as I fill my voice with the trembling of a lost, vulnerable thing. Lead me away. You have nothing to fear and everything to gain. Please, come with me. I'm sojourning not far from here. You can share my fire and stay the night in safety. I suppose I can't refuse such a kind offer, I reply, letting relief wash over my words. Show me your true face. Show me your fangs. Then please, good sir, lead the way. With his free hand, he offers me his arm. I hesitate. Such closeness would avail me to my weapon, but just as easily put me at his mercy. How quickly could he strike back? With what strength could he stop me if I failed? I will take his arm. I reached for his outstretched hand. My fingers linger on his gloved ones for only a moment before he links his arm through mine, sweeping his cloak around both of us in one elegant motion. I cannot help but gasp. Forgive me if I startled you. I thought you'd be warmer this way. I'm fine, I stammer, digging my other arm into my pockets, gripping my weapon tight. His wool cloak and warm fur surround my shoulder does keep away cold, but I feel no warmth from him, no blush across his pallid cheeks, not one breath from his lip fogging in the night air. He smells of incense and pine, and faintly the metallic tang of iron. I wonder if I've made a mistake. My heart hammers as I walk beside him. It beats an unfamiliar drumming in my chest. Thankfully, he slows his stride to match mine. I take a deep breath to keep myself steady, staying alert as he leads me onward through the trees. It does not seem he will strike me here. I must be patient. I will wait. Might I ask, what is your name? He asks, after we have walked some steps from the clearing. I have worn names like they were ribbons in my hair, dozens of names in all colors and shapes. To give one away now would be a frivolous thing. But names, even false ones, create familiarity, bonds. Would it be wiser to keep my cards close? Heart closed? You may, why not? I'm pretty sure there is a good reason why the main character is so untrusting, considering we are out on the hunt. But at the same time, I'm not this character. I'm gonna give him my name. You may, of course. My name is... it's Lion. My name is Lion. Lion, he repeats, savoring each syllable. That's lovely. He sounds like he means it, like there's a heart that still beats beneath his borrowed skin, that flutters at the sight of goodness and beauty, that thrums at the sound of a maiden's name. And yours? I ask. Gabriel, he smiles. Like the old angels, I murmur. If I were naive, I would wonder if he is old enough to remember the angels from the days long before the mist descended, before any gods and their icons who watched from above fled as the undead and unsated plunged the earth into pestilence and death and rot. I would wonder, had he ever plucked an apple from the branches of Elysium, tasted its sweet flesh? But I know better. My parents were fond of the old tales, both of them for different reasons, he says with a wistful smile. What reasons? My father valued the strength of divinity. My mother valued their tales of virtue. A name can be a gift, and I treasure mine as I treasure their memory. You must miss them. I do, he replies softly. I wait, but he does not continue. It's not enough. I need more. Show me what lies beneath your skin. Show me the beast that you are. Now that you've asked something of me, I say, I believe it's only fair I ask you a question in turn. Very well, then. Ask away. Your purpose here, your clothes. What is your purpose here? You said you're a traveler. But why here? Why these mountains? This forest? I often come to the mountains to hunt. I love the air here, the pristine wildness. Of course you would, you wild thing. But sir, your clothes, they're too fine for mere huntsmen. You look fit to be, well, if not a prince, then a knight of the Queen's Guard at least. The Queen. There is no queen that rules these lands, unless you speak of the Mist Queen. The Mist Queen, a figure shrouded in fog, in mystery, like her name. Whispered around campfires in village squares, in sober tones, in drunken ones, in awe and reverence. But most often, in fear. I've seen her knights before, marching in the wilds, their pyres burned on the hillside for days. Do you believe that she's lived since the dawn of time, that she bathes in the blood of virgins to keep her beauty? Not for a moment. I laugh. You speak as if you know her. Would you be afraid if I did? If I were the servant of a queen? Yes, no, yes, no. Why would I be afraid of that? No. I will call you a spinner of tall tales, good sir. I can scarcely believe she's an immortal at all. Who can remember a time before the mist fell? Who can say whether the undying still walk this earth? Yet, if you were only a servant, merely a pawn, I would think her unfit to be queen of anything at all. How poor her sense of virtue is. You believe me to be virtuous? Well, here you are, helping a poor lost damsel in the snow. I laugh. It's only human to help others in need. I shake my head. Some would disagree. Some would seek an advantage over others. That is human nature, my hunter. In any case, there is something gentle about you. I cannot think to place you among her scores of blood-soaked nights. He looks at me for a long time. I wonder if I've said too much. You're a strange girl. A strange, sweet girl. A girl? I'm well past 20 summers, but do not think to ask how many, gentle hunter. I shall not. Have you a family, then? I did, though I was a stranger to them at first. They welcomed me into their home and became just like family to me. I love them very much. But these days, those days are gone now. He gives me a look of sympathy. I am so sorry. I'm like you. I once had a wife and a son, but the plague took them from me. I'm sorry for your loss. I consider what to say next. I lost about his family. Yeah, of his past. His family, yeah. If I may ask, how did you meet your wife? I wasn't always a hunter. Once I was a young doctor in a small countryside town. She was my first patient. She'd injured her leg trying to rescue a lost sheep and was so embarrassed she was rather unkind to me while I treated her. She warmed to me eventually, and I grew to love her stubbornness. A pained look flashes beneath his emerald eye. It hurts me more than I expected to hear him speak of her in those words, with that tenderness. Why did I ask? I'm sorry that you lost her, I say, weakly. He does not reply for some time. I miss her dearly. I miss everyone from that life, but it was a long time ago now. Even the wind is silent as we walk, the crunching of our footsteps the only sound in the night. It's a relief when he turns the conversation away. I've spoken enough of unpleasant times. Tell me something about you. What do you enjoy? I enjoy singing. I'm fond of needlework. I enjoy singing. I love songs. When I sing, I never truly feel alone. And you have a talent for it indeed. He looks as if he's about to speak, but he hesitates. Are you often lonely? I'm quite used to it. Solitude is like an old friend to me now. Sometimes, I wonder, is it better to be alone or to spend your life with someone you cannot give your heart to? Both of those sound lovely. A wise man should seek a third route, but what if you had no other option? What if fate had tied you together, like roots intertwined? I will spend my days in solitude. I will learn to grow beside them. I cannot imagine running away in solitude forever. I would think it just as lonely for the other person. Would you abandon them, leave them their burdens, not even try to overcome the fate that you shared? Forgive me, I've burdened us with heavy topics again. But I thank you for your insights. Of course, gentle hunter. I search my mind for another question, another distraction, when suddenly a howl, long and low, cuts through the night. Wolves. Stay calm, he says, in a hushed tone, folding his cloak around me as I clutched his arm. I did not realize I'd grip him so tightly. As long as I'm here, they won't approach us. His voice is soft and melodious, the song of a shepherd coaxing a lamb. The fear I feel isn't mine. It isn't mine. But it runs beneath my skin like a rapid coursing river. My mind cannot quell the instincts of a living heart, but I must overcome it. I keep alert for any sudden movement from him, but he makes none. It's alright to be frightened. It's only natural. But you won't come to harm, I promise. The same way a mouse is safe from the shrike when the eagle is near. We stay that way, standing still in the shadows of the pines as the howls echo through the night, billow on the winds. I keep alert for yellow eyes peering from the darkness, but none appear. Perhaps the wolves, too, sense him and know better than to strike. Out of instinct, I feel myself start to hum, a habit I never grew from, even when I no longer needed to calm my resting heart. I wish the pounding in my chest would still and turn to stone within its cage. Go on, he says, gentle, coaxing. Sing. Let your worries wash away. I take a deep breath. And then I sing. Misty eyes, her eyes were bright. Her hands were misty too. Her skin was pale and white as milk, dark hair wet with dew. Her gown 'twas not made of silk, but willow branch and yew. By the river's bend, how still she stood, as pale shadows bloomed. How black that night's a silvery light of distant star and moon. I'm pretty sure at this point the wolves would have heard me. I'm not sure if the wolves would be even more intrigued and approach us at this point, or if they would just be scared out of their wits and be like, let's just leave him alone. By the time I finished the verse, the howls have stopped. The only voice on the wind is the whisper of thin branches whistling through the wood. I quickly let go of his hand. Too close. Not yet. Not here. It's not far ahead now. Can you walk the rest of the way? I'm fine. Onward. I follow as he leads me through the trees. The cottage comes into view as we turn the bend, almost as if conjured from the mist itself. It is a small, quaint thing, a lonely, strange thing to see, placed there like it was plucked from a fairy story. Its wooden walls are aged but sturdy, its sloping roof coated in fresh snow. It should be the home of a living, breathing woodsman, not a creature of the night. I had never guessed you would hide yourself in a place like this. It's beautiful, I say. It's the only place in the world I feel truly safe. Its heavy doors creak open as he leads me inside. The cottage is small, with short square windows and low walls, but appears well kept, a solitary home. Strings of dried herbs and fruit mint, horsetail, apples hang from the ceiling. A table and stools sit at its center, stacked with clay pots and metal bowls. A stone hearth covers one wall. A narrow bed, lined with furs, sits against the other. A bookshelf, filled with a dozen or so well-worn tomes, stands proudly in a corner, even as it teeters beneath jars of more herbs and flowers. The scent of incense, sweet and heady, fills my nose as he lights the kindling in the hearth. The embers cast his skin aglow, his silver curls and pallid features painted softly in a warm light. He unfastens his long, snow-white cloak and tosses it onto the stool. Carefully, slowly, I slip my hands free from my sheepskin gloves. I feel his gaze, his green eye watching me as I unravel my shawl from my pale throat. My fingers, still numb from the cold, a fumble with the clasp on my cape. "May I?" he asks, stepping towards me. I nod, shaking. His hands, even gloved, are deft, swift, a surgeon's hands. They free my shoulders of the deep red wool, set the fabric aside on the narrow bed. His gloved hand lingers near my collar. I do not move an inch. I scarcely breathe. "Show me your true self. Show me what you are." He brushes my cheek, a whisper of a touch, like he is afraid to hold me, like I am a statue that could crumble away beneath his fingers. "May I?" he asks again, barely audible. "Yes," I whisper back. He brushes a lock of my dark hair behind my ear, then gently, slowly, brings his lips to my skin. Wait, I did not expect him to kiss me like this early on, what?" They are so soft, his touch is like the snow that lands on my face, carried by the winter wind. Cold, but light, feather light on my cheek, gentle, far too gentle. I don't want this delicate tenderness from him. I am not a fragile thing. Neat. I fold my hands around his neck, feel the downy softness of his hair as I slip my fingers through its ashen strands. He wraps me in his arms, holds me tightly, kisses my hair, trails his lips down my neck. I shiver. I tremble against him as his gloved hands run through my tresses, down my spine, feeling for the laces of my bodice. He pushes me gently onto the furs, turns me onto my side as his hand slowly reaches down my skirt, tracing my thigh. "Found you." "What do you mean?" he says, pulling the wooden stake from my petticoats. I yelp, struggling to break free of his grip, but he holds me effortlessly as I thrash atop the furs. I cry as he pulls a long red ribbon from my hair, and with it binds my wrists behind me. I squirm and twist until I am facing him. A beam from the window casts his face with cold, ashen moonlight as I watch him toss the useless piece of wood into the hearth. Shadows from the roaring flame flicker over his pallid features as the wood blackens and burns. There's no hunger in that deep green eye, no warmth, no desire, only white, cold fury. "I believe it's my turn to ask," he says, softly, bending toward my ear. "What exactly were you doing in these woods, Lion?" Oh my god! So I believe there is a variation to the ending. I'm going to draw my blood first. I draw the short knife from its sheath and roll up my sleeve. Without hesitation, I press the blade against the back of my forearm, watching as a thin line of crimson blossoms against my flesh. The pain that comes is a sensation I'd long forgotten. I almost cry out in surprise. Hastily, I take a long ribbon from my hair and wrap it tightly around the fresh wound. Red against red, it entwines around my arm like the bark around a birch's trunk, like the skin of an apple peeled away with a knife. The sudden sound echoes from the distance, shaking me from my thoughts. I turn. No longer do I hear the wind through the trees, the hooting of an owl, or the scurrying of a squirrel. In fact, we skip ahead. Right, so over here I'm supposed to tell him I'm not lost. "I'm not lost," I say. "Then pray tell, why are you alone here at night?" "I could ask the same of you, stranger," I declare, boldly, though I leave a trace of hesitation in my voice, a tremble as I shiver in the cold. "I am an innocent, vulnerable thing, hiding my fears, but you can smell them, taste them, can't you?" I'm simply a traveler, passing through. Never thought I'd come across another soul here, until I saw a flash of scarlet amidst the snow. What a lovely cloak you have there, demoiselle. His smile is as warm as sunlight, gentle, disarming, kind. Were I naive, I'd take his answer without question. But I am not. Do you not fear the woods, the wolves? I've wandered through places far more dangerous than this. The trees almost seem peaceful, don't they? The branches bend in the wind as the snow swirls softly. You have courage indeed, good traveler. And what of you? Have you a place to shelter? The nearest village is hours away. I trail off with a quiver, a tone of reluctance. I am trembling lamb, looking for her shepherd. Please, come with me. I'm sojourning not far from here. You can share my fire and stay the night in safety. I suppose I can't refuse such a kind offer, I reply, letting relief wash over my words. Show me your true face. Show me your fangs. Then please, good sir, lead the way. With his free hand, he offers me his arm. I hesitate, and we skip ahead. So over here, I'm supposed to take his arm, and since we've already seen all this, we'll skip ahead, and we're not gonna give him our name, so yeah, you may not have our name. You may not, and neither will I ask yours. No, sir, two strangers, sharing a fire for a night, then parting ways. I'd rather keep you a story in my heart, a tale I remember far beyond today, than something so ordinary as a Dulam or Arthur. Neither of those are my name, and who says we must part after this, or that we'll never meet again? If we do meet once more, if fate spins it so, then I would ask your name. Would you not allow me to guess? Are you secretly a fairy who spins straw into gold, demoiselle? I'm fairly certain if I were not so guarded, I would blush. Thankfully, my cheeks are already numb from the cold. You sly, cunning thing. I'll give you 3 guesses, then to divert us as we walk. But even should you be correct, I'm afraid I have no fairy gold to reward you with. The knowledge alone would be prize enough, he smiles, almost mischievously. He thinks for a moment. Is it Michelle? It is not. Am I close? I will not say, but a peculiar choice. An angel's name. I thought you looked like one, from a distance, a figure standing in the mist, one that couldn't be real. Only from a distance? Much more so up close, he smiles, emerald eye twinkling. He pauses again to think. Could it be Rhea? From an angel to a goddess, I know you for what you are now, sir, a wicked flatterer. Am I wicked if I only relay the truth? Oh, stop now. Your 3rd guess? He goes silent again, casting his gaze to the night sky. Is your name Celine? Well, over here, this actually branches off to a variant of the ending, so I'm going to say yes. It is. Are you secretly a fairy prince? How did you guess? Well, when I looked at the moon, you thought to compare me to its radiance. I thought how serene you looked, despite being lost in the cold, as if you knew I would find you. He gives me a warm smile. But indeed, you are radiant. Would you allow me to tell you mine? I suppose I've no other reward to grant you. He smiles, a full, genuine smile. You are the one as radiant as the moon. My name is Gabriel. Like the old angels, I murmur. If I were naive, I would wonder if he is old enough to remember the angels from the days long before the mists descended, before any gods and their icons who watched from above fled as the undead and unsated plunged the earth into pestilence and death and rot. I would wonder, had he ever plucked an apple from the branches of Elysium, tasted its sweet flesh? but I know better. My parents were fond of the old tales, both of them for different reasons, he says with a wistful smile. What reasons? My father valued the strength of divinity. My mother valued the tales of virtue. A name can be a gift, and I treasure mine, as I treasure their memory. You must miss them. I do, he replies softly. I wait, but he does not continue, and we're skipping ahead. So over here, when he's asking if we're gonna be afraid of him, we're supposed to say no, and we skip ahead. You're a strange girl, a strange bold girl, skip ahead. We're supposed to ask about his family. We've already seen all this, skip ahead. And finally over here, if we say we enjoy singing, that still leads to the variant of this ending, but I'm gonna go with I'm fond of needlework. I'm skilled with a needle, if I might say so. Your clothing. Did you make these? I did. I embroidered them as well. I feel his gaze run over the moons and flowers stitched into my clothes, and I feel a sudden warmth creep through my skin to be the object of his stare. It is truly a lovely work. I feel I could live a dozen lifetimes and never hope to match your skills. I laugh. You don't need lifetimes for it. It only takes patience and a willingness to persist, even if you'll accidentally stab yourself countless times. What would you do if you had lifetimes, if you could walk the earth without fear of death or aging? What? Well, I would look for someone to spend it with. I would learn all that I could. I would look for someone to spend it with. I would look for someone to spend my days with, that we might share in all the joys of the world together. But you, deathless, would outlive them, watch them grow old and wither away at your side. Then I would spend my days searching for a way to share with them the gift I was given. All while their precious time slipped away, all while seconds to them would be days, months, years. Forgive me. I've burdened us with heavy topics again. Nah, it's fine, and I'm gonna skip ahead to see where this variant leads us. Stay calm, he says in a hushed tone, folding his cloak around me as I clutched his arm. I did not realize I'd grip him so tightly. I am calm. I should be calm. But the fear I feel, it isn't mine. It runs beneath my skin, like a rapid coursing river. It twists inside the cage of my heart. I will my pulse to slow, but it does not. My mind cannot quell the instincts of a living heart. The howls grow louder, closer. I can feel them ringing in my ears. Your scent is too strong, I hear him murmur. He searches through his coat for something, a small pouch, then pours its contents over the lantern. The flame burns brighter as a thick, earthy scent fills the air. It smells of ash and smoke, iron and dust. This way, he says, leading me by the arm. We come to a large pine, its ancient trunk at least 3 grown men wide. With a firm, but not ungentle motion, he presses me against its trunk, sweeping his cloak around us. Good sir? I feel the rough bark on my back through the wool of my cape, feel his arms around my shoulders, holding me tight. It takes all my will not to struggle, not to scream. It's all right, he says, melodious, soothing, a shepherd calling to a lamb. This will hide your scent. Listen to my voice. Hold on just a bit longer. I'm glad they can't hear my heartbeat. This close, I could hear his heartbeat beneath his chest, if only he had one. I could burn beneath his arms, if only they were not so cold, cold to the bone. We stand there for what feels like an eternity, before the howls grow silent. The only voice left on the wind is the whisper of the trees. I break free of him as soon as he lets me go, shaking. Too close. Not yet. Not here. Forgive me. It's not too far ahead now. Can you walk the rest of the way? I'm fine, I say, steadying myself, fighting the quiver in my voice. Onward, I follow as he leads me through the trees. And are we heading back to the cabin? A cottage comes into view as we turn the bend, almost as if conjured from the mist itself. Alright, let's see where it goes different from here. He pushes me gently onto the furs, turns me onto my stomach as he pats my hair. Found you, my queen. Wait, what? I yelp as he pulls my hair sharply back from my head. Tears bead in my eyes as his hand presses against my skull. He holds me still as I thrash beneath him, traces with his fingertip that mark on my skin I've forgotten to lay at the base of my neck. The crooked crescent moon that I carved into my flesh with the sharp iron knife. Might I humbly ask, as your loyal consort? He whispers softly into my ear. The fire crackles and roars, casting flickering shadows around us, but I feel nothing but ice run through my veins. There is no hunger in his voice, no warmth, no desire, only white, cold fury. Did you think you could fool me, Celine? What did he mean? What does he mean? Anyway, that was Snow White Ashes. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys do want to play this for yourselves, link to the game will be in the description below. We will be back soon enough once the full game has been released. This has somehow become the most popular game for both the Winter Visual Novel Jam as well as the Once Upon a Time VN Jam. And now I know why. Like, this game is beautifully written. And like, the mystery at the end of the game is just like leaving me hooked for more. God. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all have a lovely rest of the day. And as always, I'll be seeing you in the next video. This is Lion, signing off. Ciao.